Good morning. This is Pig's Eat. Let's go. How are you doing, basically? And I hope you're doing all right. As for myself, so I've set up a few other channels. One I probably just do like some care stuff, and another one I set up for like emotional psychology stuff. Because I didn't want to bang on about too much about recovery things or stuff like that, past traumas, because it can probably overtake other things. There are some great stuff out there. I was watching Love Advice TV, and you've got these coaches, type of like life coaches, and all pumping out different advice and stuff, and it's quite good to watch, to be honest. It was good viewing. As for me, yeah, I feel fantastic, to be honest. It takes a little while to get your head straight, but then you've got to go through certain stages of recovery, and you need to help push them along. Not force it, but just gently nudge it along. And you'll find, when you find the key to sort of forgetting someone or putting it behind you, and that could be something they've done to you, or it could be the way things ended with that person. Sometimes if you don't really set your house in order, it doesn't always work out. Or if someone saw you at a low point, or they saw you when you're not really yourself, then you kind of feel quite bad. You think, well, I'm better than this, and stuff like that, or wish you could have seen that potential I had. It would have been quite amazing. But then sometimes you look at it and you think, well, actually, I think they've done me a favour. Would it have worked out? Is friendships or any kind of relationship long term? Sometimes they're not. So there's a time where you can probably reconnect. You just got to be quite careful how you approach it, and it really depends what's happened. That sets it aside. Definitely helps if you're thinking in certain terms. Like if you're thinking, I need to reach out and so on, just look at all the negatives. Look at the thing, reanalyse them, and you think, well, they did some funny things to me, didn't they? And there might be some things that you maybe kind of twisting it around. Like for me, somebody gave me something that was out of date. I think they're basically just clearing their larder. But they didn't tell me until about a week later that it was out of date. So they gave me. I read it. It was only like a jelly, so it's not it's not going to kill me or anything. But I have to think, well, why would you want to give somebody something out of date? Why don't you just throw it in the bin? So what's that? It's like a one-up on them. And then you kind of look at that. What does that mean? If it happens quite a lot, maybe the person is either in a low place, so it could be signs of depression, bitterness, or narcissism. So it's a bit, because maybe you're happy and they don't like that. It's really difficult, but you can't really read between the lines. But if other things have happened like that, it just shows maybe it's an internal struggle they're having, and it may tell you that unless they heal that, where you'd be going. Don't try to heal it yourself, because I've done that and tried to reach out and solve the person's problems, but the person will always be the person unless they want to change that. You're wasting your time, and it's gonna drain your batteries. You're gonna start off just caring about the person, and then you're going to open your heart fully, and you'll be deeply in love with the person. And the person, because you've always been the energy source there, don't really notice the change. And then when you do tell them that because of all the way you've invested into them, they may not value it. They might think, okay. But then in time, maybe it will sink in. That's where no contact does work. Yeah, sink in that they did have some support structure there, but they just decided not to go with it. And nobody owes you a favour or anything. It's just you have to be honest with yourself. Don't give more than you want to, and then sometimes don't give at all, because people have got to They got to. It's a to and fro. It's like not necessarily a tug of war, but there's got to be some energy put on both sides of the fence. Otherwise, it's just wasting your time. Like, or long term. I mean, it's like any relationship. If someone's very kind to you, they might be a kind person, but you have to ask yourself why they're kind, and also the things they do. They put their neck out for you in certain ways. They're reaching out beyond their normal thing they would do for friends. And I mean, if that's not obvious to someone, then they're not even noticing you exist. If you do stretch out and then you pull back, then you'll see a response, and things like that. So that's definitely big. But also on the spiritual side, I think the doing some yoga has really helped. It's because most people think that when you go do some sort of yoga meditation, well, they might think yoga you have to do loads of stretching, but it's not actually. It's different sort of spiritual practices, and for me, it was like I tend to use the third eye a lot, and I was visualising and seeing things, but I didn't realise that the heart is a whole nother level, and so I was able just to sense where my heart is. I can sense my head, I can sense my third eye active. I don't want to deactivate it, but I want to create a strong relationship between the third eye and the heart. And when I activate it, it can clear up a lot of emotional stress, it can change the way my character is, it can do lots of things. I'm even able to sort of, if I did sense a kind of hurt or that kind of tension in your heart, I'm able to pull back on it. I'm able to sort of pull inwards that sensation and switch it off. It's I've noticed that because I've been trying to feel where my heart is. And if you're feeling pains and stuff in your body, that's to do with your nervous system. So you can tap into that. You can control that response. You can change the outcome there. You not have to walk around with aches and pains and things. Psychological, just anxiety. I've been very confident at work. I'm doing quite well. When I did a talk and that went well. Discussion. I was very positive, recharged energy-wise. Some people saying you look knackered. That's because I've just been staying up later. It's not because I'm stressed out or anything particularly. I mean, there will be other stresses in the future, possibly, because work's always fluctuating, because there's jobs that are kind of very flexible, zero, and so on. Anything else about it? So really, you want to be where you want to be in your best position, and also with any communication with anybody else, say the other person or whoever that is, the other group. It could be anybody. It could be like your old work colleagues. So it's not specific to certain circumstances, and it's good to think like that as well, because then it gets you out of the box and you think, well, what psychological tools do I need to improve myself? And that can help a great deal. Then you can apply that in any situation. So it's like a relationship at work, or you meet somebody for the first time, and all these kinds of things. You know how to hit it off, and also evaluate. So maybe a process of evaluation. So you do something and you evaluate it, and then you don't want to be sort of like a psychological ninja or something, but at least you'd be a better judge of characters and grown as a person. I think that's really what's important as well. So where do you want to go, direction in your life, and then start putting these goals out. And when you feel like you've changed a lot and you don't have attachment, you don't want any attachment to this, it's okay to care. Something else I learned recently, you can care for someone. I mean, basically the care is different from when you love someone. So loving someone and being in love with someone is quite different. Like you feel for them. So like the empathy side of things, and loving someone is kind of generate something between you, and having the effects of being in love that might scramble your brain a bit, which is all sweet if under the right circumstances. And the wrong circumstances is awful, because it can generate very unhealthy relationships which scare people off. And I said before that the L word is often seen as changing your mental landscape. Really, it's not just your health. It's not a bad thing, but you'll become this other person. Jekyll will be out to play, or let's see, Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, or Hyde, or Hyde's come out, and he's an emotionally sensitive person. It's somebody that you probably haven't been for a long time. It would be based on certain triggers and behaviour patterns you had when you're a child, would be in there, and other things. I mean, for me, I probably fell in love with someone when I was 5 years old. So it's I remember playing Kiss Chase at school and being quite attached to a female. So it's very different anyway. This is Pixie sign off, and speak to you soon.